Warner, Director of PR for John Force Racing. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. We decided to do this event here at the NASCAR track because we knew the sound of race cars really would be a distraction. We do really appreciate, first of all, Marcus and Bruton Smith for, number one, not just building this fantastic facility, but also ZMAX Dragway. We'll be starting the countdown tomorrow, 6 races for the championship for $500,000 for the funny car class. It's going to be a great start to the countdown. We're very excited. We're also joined by Tom Compton, the president of the NHRA, here today. Thank you very much for coming, Tom. Really appreciate it. We're excited to get the countdown underway. To come up, Kyle and Brandon, if you'll come up to my left, and then John Force, John Flack, and Sandy. Sorry, Sandy. We've been so focused on trying to remember Kyle's name. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce a living legend, 15-time funny car champion John Force, the winningest driver in NHRA history, a man whose name will be remembered with the Pettys and the Earnhardts, the Perdones, and the Bernsteins. It's my pleasure to introduce John Force, owner and CEO of John Force Racing, to make some exciting announcements about the future of our company. Before I do that, I want to recognize his family and the president of John Force Racing, Robert Height, his wife Lori, his daughter Brittany, and his daughter Courtney. The drivers will all be available afterwards for one-on-one interviews, and it's my pleasure right now to turn the microphone over to John Force.
Got a list of notes here. I don't know if I'll follow them, but I can tell you this: I'm not here to announce that I'm retiring. I'm not here to announce that I'm going out of business. And I know y'all think maybe I'm going NASCAR racing. I've had a few calls in the last week from a few owners that said they might need a little help for me to get control. But basically, I'm here for 2 reasons. And we're here, number one, because today the countdown begins. The Mellow Yellow NHRA Championship begins right next door. We're here at the Bellagio that Bruton Smith built, your dad, Marcus. Unbelievable. We all have this huge investment in NASCAR and in NHRA drag racing. And Tom Compton, you have a huge investment. And I want to thank you for allowing us to go ahead of your press conference. And I want to clarify to all the media, the drivers in the countdown, which we're all part of, will be in the room next door on the same floor as 600. Very important that you be at that to kick off the race, and thank you for allowing me to go first. So when the media gets done here, that's why we're going to stay on a tight schedule. I've probably already gone over my time, but I'm here for a number of reasons. I asked my daughter Ashley to build me a video that would give me the heart, because in all my stuff, I'm full of bullshit. Y'all know it. I come in, I tell the story, I entertain, I try to make you laugh, and I run out of the room, I don't know what I say. But I got to make some points clear today. And that is how much I love this sport. The ups and downs, the fights over the year, the evolution of horse racing. And now my children sit here ahead of me, in front of me, at a crossroads. Because you cannot race in IndyCar, NASCAR, drag racing without money, without corporate America. You can't do it. And I've been at a number. I was born with polio. I fought it through school, all the issues. I'm a fighter. I always made it. But at a crossroads of my career, there were times I just ran out of money. I was in a situation. How do I go on? And you get a phone call from a racetrack in Houston. When I was a little guy, NHRA had a rain out, and I wasn't even running the NHRA then. And Perdome and McEwen and Beetle, those guys, they're not going to make it to my match race. There was a crossroads that took me down a road that I made it. This has happened to me. When we lost Eric Midland, we had a great TV show in Hollywood. We were making money. Our ratings were great. We were helping grow the brand of NHRA, showing the people what we were all about. And we lost Eric. And I sat for days in tears, mentally wanting to quit, not knowing where to go. And the good Lord just found me a way. Get in the chassis business, work with NHRA, work with the Ford Motor Company designers, engineers, do whatever it takes, but stay in business. We always stayed in business. I partnered up with people. Castrol, 28 years. Ford Motor Company, Auto Club, Traxxas, Brand Source, Mac Tool, Freightliner. These people teamed up with me. Financial was never my problem in the last 15 years. And I will fight, because we're here to fight for the championship this weekend, and we're here to fight for the championship in 2014. For you, Lorianne, and your great company, Castrol, I thank them for what they did. We will fight to the end. Ford Motor Company, their engineers, everything we will fight to the end. But in 2015, my life starts all over again. Auto Club sent our contract last night, extended. Robert Hyde, 5 years. Traxxas, we go into next year with 4 years ahead of us. A lot of our contracts like Mac Tool, 5 years. I have strength. These two great companies, Castrol, that I love. Hardest thing for me will be not to wear that hat. People will know me without that hat. John, you're going to have a tough sale putting me in any other color. But the point is, we have to move, and we have to move fast. And I want to thank Castrol and Ford. They could have chose to make the announcement next year, but they didn't. They said he needs a year and a half to get a run at this, because we got to go chasing corporate America. Hollywood, do I have time to make movies? Do my children in racing? Thank God they follow us in what we do, but we have to go back, because we have to build the brand and continue to grow the brand of NHRA. We have to build the brand of John Force Racing and all the drivers, and Hollywood can make that happen. So I went back to my partners that I knew years ago. Some are new. I'm still working on your name. I try to remember him because of Kyle Busch, and I've been calling him Kurt Busch all morning. It's Kyle Thomas. But you're in good company. The point is, we have a fight, and I have to deliver to build a sport that I'm in love with. I'm in love with it. To the point of just stupid. Okay? But I wake up every day, and that's why that video, to find my heart, I'm watching my time. They'll beat me up. We've got to get to this other press conference. But what we have to do, so many of us have invested in NHRA. We're in a tough economy. It's beating us up. In NASCAR and IndyCar, hell, drag racing's numbers are holding. We're right there in that fight. But look at the investment the track operators have made. Huge. Especially Marcus, your family. Unbelievable. Stadium like this, the stadium we have next door, unbelievable. And at the end of the day, look at the investments by the team owners. Schumacher, big money. Coletta, big money. John Force's, am I financially stable? Yes. But my money is the money that comes from the sponsors and appearances and winning NHRA drag races. That's where it comes from. I've got a fight on my hands. Okay? Because we have a big investment. So we have to protect them, I have to protect my children, and we have to deliver to the fans. We have the stadiums, we have a sanctioning body, we have great race teams, we've got a great product. And I'm a part of that, and I'm proud to be a part of it. The Perdones and the Bernsteins, not the young Bernstein, but his dad, they moved on for whatever reason. I can't retire. I don't want it. I love what I do. If I was in NASCAR, I would have retired 10 years ago. I'm in drag racing where it's a 4-5 second job. And I can do that job at my age because I love doing it. So what I did was I sat down in the corner and said, what am I going to do? Where do I go from here? New partners. And that's why I'm here to introduce the Just Marketing Group. I'm here to introduce Octagon to take me back to TV, Rogers and Cowan, the publicist group that will work with our social media, with our media team. We got a fight ahead of us. Not just a fight for John Force Racing to make it, but a fight to make sure that we can help a sport that put my family through school, through kindergarten, through college. I owe the sport of NHRA drag racing. And I will stay here till I drop. And that's why I have a pitch here today. It's why I'm here. I went into a boardroom with a major sponsor and said, I've got a situation. I really need to talk to you about sponsorship. And he said, Forrest, you kind of own the market in the automotive industry. You kind of own the market in the oil business industry. Yeah, but, and he felt the way he came off is you're using me as a negotiating tool against them. So we know you're going to make it because nobody would leave you. That would make no sense. But those companies have to move on. Different people, different strategies. God bless them. And we will fight for them through 13 and 14. We have to prepare. And that's why I had to come in and ask you to help me. Put the word out on the street. For the first time in 25 years, John Force and my daughter Brittany, stand up there, Brittany, and just say hi. We're on the market. And I've never had to say that to my children. My daughter cried the other day, and I'm not trying to get you emotional, but if it works, I'll do it. And my daughter said, what are we going to do? If someone has to stay behind, it'll be me. I've set her on fire. I put her in the guardrails. I pushed her at 4 in the morning to do media, and I'm not going to tell her she can't race. But I won't stay behind because I'm going to fight, and I will work with the team. And right now, I'd like to introduce part of that team, a friend of mine, John Flack, from Just Marketing, to take it from here. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Not an easy act to follow, obviously behind John, but I've been getting calls from him each day, so I think I'm getting a better handle on how he ticks and how he operates and what amount of hours he puts in each day to make things go. But for those of you that might not know me, I'm John Flack. I'm the president of JMI. For those of you that might not know JMI, we're the leading motorsports marketing agency in motorsports. We live motorsports every day. We have clients in Formula One. We're not a Formula One agency. We have clients in NASCAR. We're not a NASCAR agency. We have clients in IndyCar. We're not an IndyCar agency. We have clients in sports car racing. We're not a sports car racing agency. We're a motorsports marketing agency. And the last few years, maybe you haven't seen as much of us in the U.S. To survive, like any business, we had to step back and strategically talk about what we needed to do to survive and grow as a company. So we made major investments internationally in our office in London, our offices in Hong Kong. Those planted those seeds, and 3 years later, they've grown significantly. We've added a lot of new great partners and brands to those offices. We've also invested heavily in capabilities, digital, social, comms, research, consultancy. And that's, there's a finite time and hours in a day to focus, and those are the areas that we've focused the last few years to get us through a pretty tough stretch in the economy. But as we turn our attention back to the States and focus more than we ever have on growth and growing in the States, we've always had a passion for drag racing. Some of you may not know that we've had brands in the sport over the years, and in WWF and Knights In, and we brought Brute into the sport with Ron Capps in 2005. We've always had a passion for the sport, and we've always said that if we're going to, and we've questioned strategically as a company, what's the right step to take as we make our big re-entry and focus on drag racing in the U.S. And as you step back from that, this man is very persistent. He's usually called to check in with us every few months for the last few years. And we felt that until we could look him in the eye and commit that we as an agency could rally around his organization and give the full time and effort needed to drive partners, that we weren't going to do it half-ass, and we wanted to put in a full effort for him. And that day's today. So we're very honored to be here with you and with your family. It's a big announcement, I know, for you, and I can see the excitement in your face, and the same for us as well. Why John Force Racing? Because as we've gotten to know the company, their family, their drive, their competitive spirit, all those things are very much part of who we are. And they eat, drink, breathe motorsports every day. We do too. We're just trying to live in boardrooms, driving sponsorships into the sport somewhere. So as we, why John Force? Because we love the culture of the company, we love the work ethic of the company. We believe that quite frankly, as we've talked the last few years, there haven't been major opportunities available with the team because it's been well funded. But as we sit here today and we have an opportunity with Brittany in the future, great brand, great personality, very different from John's, thank God. We feel that for the first time in 20 plus years to have the opportunity to go to corporate America and talk about that there's a significant opportunity available with John and the family is a big deal. And we fully expect that we're going to get meetings and we're going to aggressively attack that market. We also see another reason is the investment he's making into his company at this time. To not only bring on JMI and make that commitment, but to bring on Octagon and Rogers Cowan to build the brand and grow the brand and give us something that we can sell off of each day is a big deal. And every time this group generates mass media opportunities, appearances on major talk shows, entertainment opportunities, every single time they do that, we're attacking the corporate sector with that news. So it's a team effort. It will be a team effort, and we know we've each got our role, and we know what we need to do, and we'll be very surprised if we don't find success prior to 2015. So we're building our sales plan right now for Brittany. We're excited about the categories and the brands that we're going to be speaking to about her. Likewise with John. There's a little bit of overlap between the two of them in some areas, but they've also got their own distinct brands, which we think is exciting. We're building those plans. We're going to be very aggressive in the market the balance of this year and next year to find some new partners for the team. We intend to hold all of our announcements of partnerships until after the race season's over next year. That's our intention. We're going to focus as hard off the track as John's focusing at the track, and the steps that Ford and Castrol took to have such integrity to give us the long runway to go find partners prior to 2015. I've been around the sport long enough to know that there's many that haven't done that. And that long runway matters to us. It gives us what we need to go out and be successful to drive partnerships. And that's what we're going to do. And out of respect for them and the agreements that are in place, this organization and John and I have agreed that they're going to focus on sending them out with championships. And we're going to focus on putting new partners in place. And we'll announce our sponsorship alignment roster after the season's ended next year. So with that, very honored to work with John and the family. We're going to get to it. It's going to be a lot of work. We understand the difficulties in motorsport, not just in NHRA, but they exist everywhere in the sport. There's Formula One teams that are desperate for money. There are NASCAR teams that very much need money. This is not a unique situation in NHRA, and I must say that we also believe in NHRA. We believe that the sport over-indexes versus the U.S. population in a number of areas. We think that's appealing. We love the diversity of the sport. We love this fan base that works on their own car, repairs their own home. As far as the do-it-yourselfer segment, this sport is a fantastic opportunity for partners in that space. And so we're very bullish about the sport in general. And if we're going to represent someone within that space, John's we prefer to represent the beachfront property. So that's it, and I'll hand it over to you, John.
Thank you, John. Pharmaceuticals are out there for me. There's a new pill out there, don't worry. It's going to fix everything with my stress. Why Hollywood? Why just marketing? Because they know how to do it. In the last 4 years, I've kind of lost myself between training these kids, teaching them, Robert and I, the team, how to race. Took my focus away. I won in 2010. I proved I could win and come back. But at the end of the day, I want to get back to that. And to run around chasing corporate America, that's a full-time job. And that's what I'm going to leave to you folks. Our team will work with you, but we're excited about that. But I want to get back to why I came, and that's winning championships. Why Hollywood? Hollywood because what I saw after 20 years of being on ESPN every week, Speed Channel, everywhere I was, I'd go into an airport and they'd say, John Force, pretty cool. My girls in the first year on A&E with the Driving Force show walked off the airplane and the fans went around them. I thought, what the hell happened? I realize there's people that watch motorsports and there's people that watch other things in the world. I only watch racing. I forgot about the other part of the world, the real world, I guess. But our world is real. But I want to go back there. Even if it gives me a heart attack, we'll shoot it.
Next, how we first got to know John as well as who we are and what we do. We're a group that formed the entertainment division at Octagon about 3.5 years ago after a very successful run over at the former William Morris agency. During our time there, we were responsible for well over 300 series and specials on air, as well as guiding the careers of many of the biggest names in television. Since our time at Octagon, we've continued that success, most notably with clients like Piers Morgan and Aaron Burnett on CNN, as well as Kurt Menefee on Fox, and Dr. Drew Pensky, and a little late night show that launched again this week in Arsenio Hall, which we're very, very proud of. In our continued efforts, we always are out there for families and personalities and things that we think will make really great television, and our group was lucky enough to be a part of the initial run on Driving Force on A&E, and John and his family, and due to tragic circumstances, unfortunately had to shut down a show that was doing very well and was incredibly popular with the audience, and was actually a little bit ahead of its time. In fact, when we're out there selling, a lot of the buyers and producers, when we're trying to find shows, say to us and mention Driving Force as a show that has characters and a family and a world and an environment and just overall context of the type of show they want to do. So you can imagine our excitement when John called us up and said, you know what, I think I'm getting ready to give this another go. And with the evolution, and his continued success, as well as the evolution of Brittany and Courtney as racers, and the overall dynamic of the family, we're really excited to put it back out there to the marketplace. We know it's hungry for it, and really do something special another time around. With that, we're also lucky enough to have someone still on board who was integral to the initial success of the show, and Brent Travers, as well as being really a part of this family and really knowledgeable about what they have been up to, what they will continue to do. And I'm going to introduce him, and he'll give you a little bit more, but we're definitely lucky to have him still involved in bringing the show back out there. Thank you very much.
Some would say I'm crazy for not, for sticking around this long, but I have to tell you, it was 9 years ago. It was 9 years ago this week that I first met John and Lori and the rest of it. It was this week. And I have to admit, at first I didn't know what I was going to do to make a show out of a sport that only lasted 4 seconds. But what I found was this was not only a family, it was a family of champions that was pretty much like any other, because they had their issues. At that moment in time, they had their chance to come together. It was John's pursuit of championships that took him away from his family. Missing dance recitals, school plays, and I believe even your birth, is that right?
No, actually, he didn't make it.
Oh, he didn't make it,
But
okay.
he left early.
He left early. Well, what happened? In fact, a whole year. But what happened next was extraordinary. The very thing that had been tearing John away from his family was the same thing that brought him back. It was racing. We were there, and I personally filmed the first time Ashley ever hit the throttle on a funny car. Ashley was going to go to pro. It was inevitable. She was ready for the challenge, and she rose to the occasion in a very big way. Then the unspeakable happened. We all lost one of the future champions of this sport, Eric Medlin. A nicer guy would be hard to find. Our show was shelved by John, and rightfully so. They needed to mourn and find out where they were headed. By the time they were ready to come back, the network had moved on. This was 2007. I approached John last year about bringing the show back. I wanted to follow Courtney as she took on her rookie year. The answer from John was a quick and very assertive no. He didn't want anything that could distract her in any way, nothing that could compromise her safety and that of Brittany as she stepped into top fuel dragster. Well, now, 9 years later, I have discovered I must have psychological problems. If I want to subject myself to the blocked number of phone calls, and if you receive these, you know what I'm talking about. It's 6 a.m. with a raspy voice on the other end of the phone saying, Brent, we got issues, but it's worth it. This is not only the first family of drag racing, this is an impressive organization. I've been around this team for almost a decade, traveled with them, lived in that boathouse with John, as you may have seen on the show. I watched John and Lori build their dream house, and yes, she finally let him move back in. But we are back. We are ready to take on the show and bring it back not only to the NHRA race fans, but to all America once again. And this time it's different. It's about this family for sure, but its focus will be on how this family runs this championship machine. And if you've ever been to JFR in Yorba Linda, you'd think it was a trophy factory. We're going to follow this family and this team as they chase corporate America. I'm proud to be a part of this. I know we can bring the audience a quality show without the sensationalism that is expected these days. We will continue to hold on to those family values and bring you something that this sport and the sponsors will be proud of. Thank you so much.
He cusses us and then he praises us. This man was going to be an attorney out of school, and somehow he got into Hollywood, and that's what he loves. And we fought over those green shoes. He said, I don't tell you how to race, don't tell me how to dress. I have to move and move fast. But I understand the tennis shoes. I never understood the green. But he does a great job. And you've got a great partner, a bunch of great partners. But then we have to go from TV, okay, and we have to go out and hit all the places. Drag racing takes us everywhere, but there's another world out there that I didn't know about in the last 30 years. And that's where Sandy Friedman comes in from Rogers Cowan, our publicist group, that, like he said, Forrest, I ain't exactly interested in you, but after that ESPN, whatever we called that thing you did, body issue. I knew there was a soft word. They were excited. But I fought with them. You're not going to turn us into the Kardashians. He said, you know how much money you could make? You could have 10 race teams. I said, turn us into the Kardashians. So I want to introduce Sandy Friedman from Rogers and Cowan.
He's a pretty tough act to follow. You know, John had me come over and interrupt his meeting with lawyers. I love interrupting lawyers, especially meeting them at our monthly poker. But we're really excited. Rogers and Cowan is in the Denzel Washington business. It's in, from a standpoint, the Food Network business, where we are a full-service company that expands and helps create revenue streams. We are in the Will.i.am business, we're in the Mick Jagger business, and now, very proudly, we're in the John Force and family business. Is this on? Yes. So one of the things that we're going to do, as you all know, Courtney graced ESPN magazine body issue. I think she and Gary Player were the most two popular athletes in that issue. What we plan to do, and it's already starting to happen, we got a call yesterday from Good Morning America from the material we sent on John. They want them to come, the family to come up to Times Square. We're gonna have erasers out there. The new Hallmark show that Woody Fraser produces called Home and Family. They want the two racers up there. So what we want to do is connect the dots. And what we're going to do with Courtney and Brittany, Glamour Magazine, Self, Vogue, that's the business Rogers and Cowan is in. And we're very proud of it. We want to help with Octagon and with Trent to expand and create new revenue streams for John, Forrest, and family. I want to thank you. John, thank you for having us here today.
Thank you, Sandy. I know that mic, for some reason, to this side fades. We got to move fast. We have a great lunch here for you today, and we have the NHRA press conference. Robert Height, would you step up here? You'll get mad at me because I didn't ask him to rehearse. My son-in-law, Robert Height, drives the Auto Club Ford, and he's a champion, NHRA champion. I love Robert. He's a son that I never had. I never thought these girls, and actually, she's coming back. Just got a few more babies, I think, maybe coming here. Who knows? But she loves the sport. But Robert's the one that, with my family, in our trust, in everything I've done, my will, everything that I have, Robert's on the top of the heap. Because I'm not going to fail NHRA even in death. I won't do that. I won't fail your dad that said, I will build, and he built it. He told me this years ago, okay? And I'm not going to fail. And I've set it up where Robert, if I ever do go, will take it on. And why did I choose Robert? My girls are all part of it, because Robert was the only one that said, trust me, I'll pull the plug. The rest of them are like, oh no, we'll drain the bank, keep the old man alive. Not that I plan on going anywhere. He's flat saying, where the hell are you going with this? But I just want to give you a minute to the man that will be running this company. My daughter actually runs John Force Entertainment. We got over 110 employees, chassis shops, paint shops, stuff, race teams. We got to find some money, and we need you to spread the gospel. And I want to give it to Robert here for a minute.
Thank you. I get to spend a lot of time with John, and you know, we're in the boardrooms and we're negotiating with our sponsors that are walking away, and you know, he worked really hard at that. But once he got the news, it was like a total switch went on, and you know, he's going to rise to the occasion. He looks at this as a challenge, just like, you know, winning championships. So I believe with just marketing and the partners that we have, we're going to come out better than we were before. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of work, but John Force is persistent, and he will rise to the top.
Thank you. Don't be so quick to pull that plug. I want to thank you. The reason for this today was to send the message. We have new partners. There'll be ads coming out in Sports Business Journal. There's already been teasers, USA Today, National Drag Show. We've gone out because we want to educate corporate America that you and me, baby girl, we're on the market, right? And you and Robert are in pretty good shape. But I want to thank Castrol, and I want to thank Ford. And we're going to work hard, Lorianne. You have my word?
I know.
And we're going to win you championships. And in 2015, who knows what will come. But we know John Force Racing will go on. Tom, that is my word to you. Okay? And I'm going to turn it back over to Eden Warner. And the jokes about pulling the plug, just I don't plan on going anywhere, so even if you'll take it, and thank you, please help me spread the gospel to the people out there in corporate America that just think that I'm playing games over here, because this is real serious.